Welcome to the show. I'm Judge Andrew Napolitano. Before we talk to Glenn Beck, a few items from our Freedom File. A hearing was scheduled this week for 70-year-old lawyer Richard Fine, who has been held in the L.A. County Jail for 16 months without trial or criminal charges. Mr. Fine was deemed to be in contempt of court for insisting that certain L.A. judges recuse themselves from cases in which the Los Angeles County is itself a litigant, since the county for 2 decades has been increasing the salaries of certain select judges. Fine's supporters view him as a whistleblower and a political prisoner. Meanwhile, the Obama administration has for the first time approved direct taxpayer funding of abortions, part of the changes in health care and insurance regulations that reasonable and decent people can disagree about. But didn't the president promise that an executive order would prevent taxpayer dollars from ever paying for abortion? So much for promises. The American Civil Liberties Union has brought a lawsuit against Walmart, which fired an employee for medical marijuana use. The ACLU says this is inconsistent with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Instead of the government forbidding marijuana or mandating that businesses accept marijuana use among their employers, why can't the government just stay out of the way, letting those who want to use marijuana privately do so, and those who want to stay from pot smokers stay away from them? But this week's most shocking assault on liberty may have been the brutal use of a tranquilizer dart on me. Or at least that's how The Daily Show humorously depicts panic reactions to views I expressed on Freedom Watch. Take a look at this.
Agenda breach! Agenda breach! Napolitano's gone free jack! Nap's gone rogue! Auga! Auga! Trank him! Trank him!
The 14th Amendment empowers the federal government to
Tag him and bag him, boys! Tag him and bag him!
A Daily Show featuring me? I like that. So far, I assure you there have been no weapons used on our show, but let's see how things go on this episode. With most Americans sick and tired of the federal government trying to run their lives, why does the government just keep growing? Joining me now is one of the most prominent political voices defending personal freedom in America today, my Fox colleague and friend Glenn Beck. Glenn, welcome here.
All right, sir.
Are you surprised that the government does not want to prosecute overt acts of racism that interfere with the rights of people to exercise their freedom to vote?
I think everybody is shocked by that. Everybody should be horrified by that. Anytime that we have seen this in the past in reverse with African Americans, every American should be shocked and horrified and stand up to stop it. Racism is a human condition, not a black or white condition. Now, unfortunately, what we're seeing now is not racism. It's a power grab. That's all it is an attempt to intimidate and to grab power.
Whatever you think of Abraham Lincoln, whatever you think of the Civil War, we have the Civil War amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. You know this because you're a student and a great explainer of history. Those amendments were written to keep the government from making decisions based on race. Mm-hmm. Doesn't this Justice Department make decisions based on race? Yes. Do you think that those guys in Philadelphia would have been prosecuted if they were white?
Oh my gosh, Judge, yes. Absolutely, they would have been. And they should be prosecuted if they're black or Hispanic or Asian. It doesn't matter. This is interfering with our republic, with the most precious thing that we have, the right to express ourselves in a voting booth. This is, you know what, and again, this isn't about race. What everybody is missing here is the fact that what we laid out earlier this week is this is an attempt to move forward and start the engine of civil unrest. By the time we get to November, we are going to have real problems with groups like the Black Panthers, like Acorn, that are going to be out causing trouble. And then after the election, we hit this lame duck session. I'm telling you, Judge, we're in real trouble.
All right, one of the principal jobs of the government is to maintain peace so that we can interact with each other commercially and civilly without unrest.
They will.
Why do you think the government itself, Glenn, wants civil unrest? This is unheard of for the government to
foment
Jones, this.
If you look at what Van Jones said in the America Now conference, this is a conference of the real radicals in our country. He was talking about 6 weeks ago, and he said, The president wants to do the things you want to do. The president is on your side. Now, you just need to go out and be out in the streets and do the things that you need to do. Be active. Be active to force this president to do the things he knows is right. What they're doing is they're using a vice. He's standing there, and believe me, he'll be there to protect you. He's standing there and not recognizing it right now. The DOJ is winking and nodding. As this thing starts to wind up, eventually people will say, hey, 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 calm this down. You got to stop this racism. Well, what did the NAACP do? What has Missouri and the Department of Homeland Security already said about the Tea Parties? That they're racist. So the president will be more than happy to be able to take care of all of these racist protests, all these racists on the street.